Yep, dealing with all the injuries and stuff like that. But these guys are true professionals. I think we're getting to see a lot about this team as far as character is concerned. Some of the injuries that they've had to endure, they battled till the end. Still a great season and left us actually with a lot to look forward to next season.
You know what I've seen there have been 10 come from behind, or walk-off wins, I should say, for the team this year. 10 of them. And you can count Carlos Correa, Altuve, Springer, even Marwin Gonzalez is the hero in a number of those. Luis Valbuena had one, though. The Astros had coughed up a lead in the 9th inning to the Oakland A's at home. They scored 3 runs, took the lead. The Astros came back with 5. And to me, on a Valbuena home run, that kind of summed up the season, where it was up and down. You rode the crest over and over. And when it was all said and done, the Astros came out victorious in that one. I thought you were talking about us as broadcasters there for a moment, Bart, but you know, I think there are young guys who have an awful lot to play for, even the veterans. You know that I don't think we'll see a lot of George Springer today. I don't know if Altuve is going to be in there very long, but I think everybody always has something to play for.
One game left. You leave it all on the field. Hopefully you have a good sensation, a good feeling about it, and then you just ride off into that offseason and have something to build on towards next season. But it's been great working with you guys. Always appreciate the opportunity, and it's been a blast covering this team this year, guys.
By the way, guys, the sun is sitting right there close to the horizon as we speak.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks.
Astros and the Angels, and Astros fans take one last good look at Jose Altuve, who's capping off a tremendous year. He'll DH today, but he is in that lineup looking for a couple of hits. However, before today even came around, he had that batting title in the American League already wrapped up. The team toasting him last night, him giving a speech. That's his second batting title here in the last couple of years. The last second baseman to do that is pretty incredible. You have to go back a few years. It's our moment in history presented by M.D. Henderson, and we are looking at Rod Carew with the Twins. Then he won 5 batting titles from 1969 to 1975. Pretty impressive stuff. How far back do you have to go to find another second baseman to do what Altuve is doing right now? And this is only his second, guys. How many batting titles can we say that Jose Altuve will get in years to come? With the way he's going now, it seems every year he seems to get a little bit better, which is so good for this Astros organization. Ashton Blummer.
Yeah, Julia, not only is he picking up batting titles, Blummer, but now he's turning into a guy that can drive in close to, if not 100 runs plus, hit 25 home runs, steal 30 bags. Just a phenomenal all-around player.
No, he is truly dynamic. We're seeing it. He's got a gold glove under his belt. He's going to get some MVP votes if he doesn't win the MVP this year. But his second batting title, well-deserved for a guy that we continue to see go out there and work his tail off to go out there and be a better ball player. We've seen him expand his horizon, so to speak, as far as the power game. He's driving the ball out of the ballpark, but again, a proven guy that can go out and get hits, and now he's getting them with guys on base. Been a phenomenal season for Jose Altuve. Love watching that kid play.
And now the Astros starting lineup for Game 162, presented by Southwest Airlines. George Springer once again in that top spot. His 162nd game this year, followed by Tony Kemp and Jose Altuve, middle 3. Tyler White, Marwin Gonzalez, and A.J. Reed in the bottom 3. Max Stassi finally behind the plate, Colin Moran and Jake Marisnick.
Jhoulys Chacín on the mound for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, making this 22nd start on the season. Final game of the year is a 3.95 here at Anaheim Stadium. 3-2 record.
And we are set to go. First pitch of that final game of the season misses. George Springer had a 10-game hitting streak snapped last night. Hitting .260 on his year. And he has really battled, and I think part of what drives George, on top of just being a superior athlete and a guy who wants to succeed at all times, is there had been a label that maybe injuries would beset him each year, but he has been anything but an injured player this year.
Yeah, he shook those thoughts by playing every single game this season. It's been fun to watch. And that was our question at the end of this time last year. He came back from that injury from being hit on the hand, but we wanted to see a full season of George Springer. Now we've got it. One more home run will give him 30, but since moving to that leadoff spot, really been a catalyst for this lineup and getting on base and scoring runs for Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa.
Guy that much of the season led the team in home runs. Evan Gattis has taken over in that regard, but yeah, he's that unusual, go way back Bobby Bonds kind of a leadoff guy.
It's actually a pretty good comparison. I like it.
George lays off, takes high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Just getting underway. The Astros come in with a record of 84-77. Heard Bart and Mike talking about it. Not going to quite get to the 86 wins of last year. Tapper is a fair ball, and it's a base hit. George Springer has an infield single to start the game, as this ball simply stayed straight right toward the bag. And now the Astros will pinch run for George Springer as Teoscar Hernandez comes on. So George gets 1 at bat as he starts his 161st game of the year, 162 overall. And congratulations to George Springer on a very solid season.
Absolutely well deserved to get that games played, get that knock out of the way. What a way to end the season for George Springer. Phenomenal year.
So it's Teoscar Hernandez at first base now. And Tony Kemp at the plate, hitting .214, does have a home run. Right out in front of the plate, it's a fair ball. They'll try to get 2, come up just shy, but 2-6 on that out at second base. Tony Kemp leaving that right up over the plate, maybe just in front.
I love seeing the love in the dugout for George Springer. That was great. Good hustle by Tony beating that out. Good conversation. I think you really get to see the relationship between A.J. Hinch and these players. He understands and respects what they're going through on a daily basis, but to allow George to go out there, tell him that he's going to get that AB, and then pull him is a sign of respect for me.
Total respect, and it earns respect toward upcoming seasons. And I think it is respect that is seen by other players on the team. A little pop down the right side. That's dropping and lands foul off the bat of your batting champion, Jose Altuve.
Kind of interesting to see Jose Altuve in the lineup, but there's a degree of wanting to be the best. He is already the best hitter according to the batting average, but he wants to have that hit title too. Mookie Betts playing out on the East Coast. Right behind him as far as hits are concerned. Altuve wants to get a couple and hopefully win that thing too.
Does this take you back a couple of years when on the final day of the season that batting title was in question? Ground ball to short, they'll get an out at second. No double play. So a couple of forced plays in the inning. I was going to ask about that effort by Altuve to go out on the final game of the season in New York against the Mets, come up with a couple of hits, win the batting title. Any reminders there for you?
No, I think it was a little more of an issue just, you know, Altuve sitting on his numbers as far as because that batting title was a little bit closer when he was fighting for it to get that batting average up and keep it where it was. But this time around, I think it's a little more pride for Jose Altuve wanting to lead the league not only in batting average but take that hit title.
2 down. Altuve at first base. He's already stolen his 30 on the season. Picked that up last night. And Tyler White, swinging a much better bat. Although on that pitch and a couple we've seen here recently, letting that front shoulder kind of fly open and pulling out. Again, 0-2 the count on Tyler. Leadoff single by George Springer. He has been pinch run for. And White down on strikes. So the Astros get the leadoff single, strand a man after a half an inning of play. We're scoreless. And now it's time to listen to And for these LA Angels of Anaheim, Mike Socha, the skipper. They'll line him up with Yunel Escobar in the top spot, playing at third. Cole Calhoun in right follows. And then the DH, Mike Trout. He's got some numbers he wants to reach. At first base, C.J. Cron, Jeffrey Marte in left, and Andrelton Simmons, slick shortstop. Bottom three, Rafael Ortega in center. Doing the catching, Carlos Perez. Cliff Pennington is at second.
On the mound for the Houston Astros will be Brady Rogers, making that first start of his big league career. It's been rough up until this point. See those 4 games pitched, 10 earned runs allowed. But a real opportunity right here to be in his comfort zone where he started all season long and became pitcher of the year in the minor leagues for the Houston Astros.
So we'll get a hopefully nice lengthy look at Brady Rogers today. Yunel Escobar stands in and slices one down the right field side as it crashes up against that barrier down the right side. Brady Rogers gets in front. Defensively, the Astros make the obvious change. Teoscar Hernandez stays in right field, or stays in the game and plays in right. So a 2016 farewell to George Springer that ends on a nice base hit note. Yunel Escobar has had a good year, hitting .305 and among the leaders throughout most of the season. Put on a run for a while that looked like he might try to make a run on Jose Altuve. It did not materialize. Max Stassi does the catching today. Comes up somewhat empty on that Rogers breaking ball that stays up. Haven't gotten to see a lot from Max Stassi this season. When he has been back there, he's been very impressive. 2-1 offering. Hit on the ground left side. Marwin is at short today. He has really mastered that submarine throw now and utilizes it whenever possible. Well, Brady Rogers gets his first man. Cole Calhoun will stand in. Good right fielder for the Angels. Defensively strong, offensively a very dangerous hitter. Last appearance for Brady Rogers, a second consecutive scoreless relief outing that came Wednesday against Seattle. Gave up a hit in 1 inning. And he's starting to put it together. After initially joining the club, had his struggles. Good changeup as Calhoun's out in front, fouling it back.
Throwing a little more off speed in those last 2 outings for Brady Rogers, mixing it up. Fastball averaging around 90 miles an hour. He does cut it every once in a while, but has a curveball, changeup, slider.
'73 RBIs on the year for Calhoun, who drives it to right field. To his right, shy of the track, Teoscar will make the play. 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning.
Host your holiday party with elegant spaces, high-end entertainment, and great pricing for every type of event at Minute Maid Park. Get a 50% room rental discount and a 10% food and beverage discount on select dates. Visit astros.com/party at the park or call 713-259-8800.
And with 2 down, bases empty, Mike Trout comes to the plate. Has now played in all 3 games here in the series. And when you look at his line of numbers, you know what he's after. Comes in with 29 home runs, 99 RBIs. Breaking ball up in the strike zone. It's a ball and a strike on Trout. Certainly one of the game's elite players. Many people would tell you he's the best in the business. Good slider, misses away. 29 stolen bases. So in 3 categories, he's on the 9s right now and would love to add to those figures. Takes close, but a ball. Trout leads the league in walks drawn. Leads in on-base percentage. And if you look to most important categories, he'll be among the leaders. He draws the 2-out walk. So Trout aboard, and we'll see if he tries to run to pick up that 30th bag.
An opportunity with it because of that walk. I thought Brady Rogers was going to come right after him and challenge him in that 3-1 count.
Brady may not have wanted to allow that 30th home run of the year.
We make sure of that by not getting near the zone.
Trout aboard, held on at first by A.J. Reed as the pitch is inside on the cleanup man. C.J. Cron has hit with some power while hitting .280. 16 home runs. Baseball got by Brady Rogers. A strong job by umpire Dan Iasania to retrieve it. Umpires today: Bob Davidson behind the plate, Dale Scott, Dan Iasania, and Lance Barrett. Runner goes, the throwdown not in time, so there's number 30 now for Mike Trout. So he has picked up one of those sought-after categories, and you knew it was coming.
There's a lot of talk about Mike Trout not running much anymore. He pretty much put the kibosh on that. Go out there and get yourself 30.
You know what I perceive? He had a slow start to the season. When he hears things like that, I think he simply turns it on. Says, oh yeah? Has that kind of ability. The strike is called.
There's literally nothing that guy can't do on the baseball field as we look at our Supermo, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Although if Tyler White catches that ball, he may have to try to give it another attempt for 30, but looked like it beat him there. Okay, we just got a bunch of announcements on all the glory that Mike Trout has achieved before the age of 25 in Major League Baseball. It's unreal. 25 home runs, 30 stolen bases 3 times in his career now. I think he's the only one to do that before the age of 25.
It just popped foul to the seats on the right side. Yeah.
And I probably missed about 8 other things that he's done.
There was a litany of categories that Mike Trout just has proven to be better than other people in. You're right. I think that with a tag there from Tyler White, there may have been an out call at second. Max Stassi shows again that he has some skills behind the plate. But the Astros really have not got much of a look at him here in September. Can't say that anymore. It's October. It's October 2nd now. Hard to believe. I know, Blummer, following today's game, you head back down. You take that 747 back down to your stomping grounds.
Yeah, I got a quick drive down south. Hang out on the beach a little bit. Enjoy the family.
Yeah, I hope it's a great off season for you.
As for you.
Hot shot to short, backhanded. Marwin will make the play. And there goes the bottom of the first inning. Trout stranded at second base. We're scoreless after an inning. By Toyota. Let's go places. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa dinger to Houston Children's Charity. And by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares and nothing to hide. That's transparency. Gorgeous day here in Southern California. Nothing new there. Game 161. Rather, game 162, excuse me. Marwin Gonzalez now will lead off in the second. Be followed by A.J. Reed and Max Stassi. Third baseman drawn in with a shift on. And that ground ball to the right side. And out number 1 as Pennington makes the play. We check in with Julia.
Thanks, Ash. Throughout the broadcast, we're going to look back at some big games for this club over the season. And the first big one might have been back on May 24th. Carlos Correa had been scuffling a little bit, but he comes through for the team on a walk-off hit in the 13th inning to beat the Orioles. They end up sweeping the Orioles. Coming into that day, though, guys, they were 17-28. They'd have the really tough April, but played some of the best baseball over the entire major leagues. For a couple of months there, they went 37-16 to get 10 over. They did it very quickly. If you think about just where they came from and how well they're playing, they put it together. They had good pitching. Some guys really got it going, and that might have sparked it right there with a big Correa walk-off hit, which was one of many for him this year as well, guys.
It was a really big walk-off win for the ball club, Julia. The Astros had one walk-off win prior to that one. They wound up the season with 10, but part of the news for me is that they haven't had one of those walk-off wins since August 28th. Simply hit the skids a bit in September.
I just think it's interesting that that walk-off hit coincided with their stretch run that Julia's talking about, but Lance McCullers got back into the rotation. That was a huge boost, too.
How much could Lance McCullers mean if he could stay healthy next year in this rotation? Yeah, I think questions like that and a healthy and successful Dallas Keuchel. Colin McHugh doing what he's done again. He's been really good. Picked up his 13th win in last night's game. This guy, A.J. Reed, can he develop into a major league hitter, hitting 169? Pops it up left side. Yunel Escobar, the only guy over there. He'll make the play. And the second out of the inning. Brings up catcher Max Stassi. Very limited opportunities for Max. Looking for his first hit on the season on the big league level. Did not have a good year at AAA, and that certainly has cost him. Went 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter Friday night against the Angels. Just his 9th appearance now with the Astros since rejoining the team. In 2013, when he came to the big club, swung the bat well, hit .294. Chacin falls behind, 3 balls and no strikes. Max Stassi in that 13th season had a home run, a couple of doubles, 7 RBIs. Looked like he might kind of be that next in line guy. Count fills now. Where's that? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think the hardest part of not playing is when you get the opportunity, you try and expand the zone a little bit and do too much.
3-2 pitch, ground ball back up the middle. And this one will result in a heck of a play by the shortstop Simmons. Don't know how he eventually came up with this, but when he does that, he will get some big outs. And that'll do it for the Astros in the second.
To Astros fans, don't forget we love showing your comments and reactions from Twitter during the telecast. So be sure to mention @RootSportsSW in your tweet for the best chance to see it on the air. We've already had tweets early today. We've got a hashtag Ashby After Dark. I like
Say
that.
what?
There you are. Wake up there. Already going through withdrawals. I know it's tough. Fans are going to miss their Astros baseball. Spring will be here before you know it, though, right?
What about you, Julia? Do you go into withdrawal, or do you just stay busy?
There is a period where I watch the playoffs or whatever it is going on, and I do miss coming to the park every day myself and watching the team and watching guys like Jose Altuve. Altuve made fun of me earlier today, and all I could say was, I'm going to miss you this offseason. You know, it's just, I miss the everyday of this, and so it does take a little bit for me to adjust. And then I get busy. And then it's spring training. It happens also quickly.
Yeah, I think you're probably no different than most of us in all of that regard, but
I think it's so routine oriented. That's the hard part for me to break, is that routine of showing up at the park at a certain time, being ready, game time.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Jeffrey Marte leading off here in the second inning, followed by Simmons and Ortega. 3 infielders on the left side, and now a full count. Right-hander Brady Rogers getting the start. 45 and 33 in 5 minor league seasons. So he has certainly been a winner at the minor league level. ERA total at 4.06. This year, a couple of complete games at AAA Fresno. 3-2 misses low. Leadoff walk in the second inning. Marte aboard for Andrelton Simmons.
Colin McHugh, one of the original starters in that rotation for the Houston Astros throughout the course of the season, did a great job last night finishing off his season. He will now have thrown 184 2/3 innings, doing a great job. Got 7 2/3 of those last night, only giving up 3 hits. Showed a good mix, got 5 punch-outs with that fastball, cutter, has a great curveball to go along with it. But one of those guys that truly competed throughout the course of the season. Had a couple of rough starts, but finished that month of September with a W, and was undefeated in that month of September, and continues to be undefeated in September as an Astro.
Andrelton Simmons has already made a whale of a defensive play to rob Max Stassi. Looked for a moment like Stassi might have that first hit on the year. Marte goes, pitch hit into right center field for a base hit. And streaking to third is Marte. First hit for the Angels. Runs off the bat of Andrelton Simmons. Runners at the corners, nobody out. For Rafael Ortega.
Forward sprayed chart. We're going to pop right up here. We're going to look at Colin McHugh's last 5 starts and the mix he comes at you with. That's how he keeps guys off balance. Basically about 35% on the fastball and curveball, but he also has that cutter to offset the straight fastball that he has. We don't see the changeup too often, but he can go to it when he needs to. They're proven to be a good mix down the stretch for the Houston Astros.
So Rogers in trouble here in the second inning. Ortega, the center fielder. Astros shallow up and pinch toward the bag at second base, trying to get 2. Should be interesting to see Tyler White possibly turn a double play today.
You know he's thinking about it.
Bluff down at first base. And a 1-1 count. Now we've already seen Tyler have a chance to tag a runner out. Mike Trout on a stolen base attempt could not come up with the throw, and a good one from Max Stassi. That'll drop for a base hit. And score a run. Stopping at second is Simmons. 1-0 Angels on top. Rafael Ortega. RBI single here in the second.
Look at that pitch to Ortega down in the zone on our strike zone, brought to you by MD Anderson. Out of the zone, actually. But good job by Ortega going down to get it, get that RBI.
Brady Rogers. Got a tough start to the second inning. Carlos Perez, former Astros minor leaguer. Now the catcher for the Angels most of the time. Perez has struggled with the bat, hitting just .204. Good defensive player, good strong throwing arm. Has 5 homers on his year, 29 ribbies. Ground ball hit over the bag and down the left field side. That'll score at least one as Kemp comes over to retrieve it. And now a second run coming to the plate and scoring easily, Ortega. Simmons and Ortega scoring on the double by Perez, and it's 3-0 Angels.
Piece of hitting, just rake that down the line. Not much Colin Moran can do right there.
Still nobody out here in the inning, an inning that started with a walk to Marte, and now 3 runs on the board. Perez in scoring position for Cliff Pennington. Over the minor league career of Brady Rogers, he has allowed more hits than innings pitched over those minor league totals. In the air into right center field, that's dropping and drops in front of Hernandez. Moving to third base is Perez. He'll stop there. It'll be a single for Pennington. And now 5 consecutive hitters for the Angels have reached. Teoscar made every effort he could in right field to get to it. Came up shy, and now Brent Strom goes to the mound.
Brent Strom has done some serious work throughout the course of the season. We talked about the injuries to Lance McCullers. He's had to try and get Keuchel right, eventually leaving with an injury. But the adjustments he's made in the bullpen, working with Chris Davinsky and some of those guys. It's been a great season for Brent Strom. Embracing these kids and teaching them how to compete for 162 games, because you remember some of these guys he has in the rotation and in that bullpen are guys who are only used to playing through the month of August. Now they're getting to learn how to extend that season going through September.
Top of the order, Yunel Escobar at the plate. 0 for 1, grounded out to short and accidentally fouls this one. So 0-1 the count. Quite a year between these two clubs. The Angels won the first of the 19 meetings. That was back on May 27th. 7-2 victory for the Angels, and then the Astros came storming back, won the next 11 games. The Angels came into Houston after the Astros went 5-2 on a West Coast swing through Seattle and Oakland. Looked like the Astros had positioned themselves very well to get into a playoff berth, and the Angels took 3 out of 4. And now the Astros trying to take 2 out of 3 in this final series.
Now those 3 losses against the Angels in Minute Maid Park were probably the crushers for them.
They're in a great spot, the Astros were. Hit in the air to right field. Is it deep enough to score a run? Teoscar is under. The catch made coming from third base is Pennington. Make that Perez, and he will score run number 4, sac fly. And the Angels lead it here in the second inning, 4-0. 4 runs on 4 Angels hits. 1 out. Cole Calhoun at the plate. And now 3 infielders on the right side. Calhoun fly to right field in the first. Rogers falls behind, 2 balls, no strikes. Leadoff walk to Marte. Simmons with a base hit. Ortega, the center fielder, base hit driving in the first run. Double by Perez to plate 2 more. Base hit by Pennington and the sac fly by Escobar. And there's the 4-0 Angels lead. Breaking ball in for a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike on Calhoun. All games around the major league starting at the same time today. Toronto underway at Boston. They're scoreless in the second. Baltimore leads 1-0 at the Yankees in the third. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of major league players scattering to the wind this afternoon. Tampa Bay leads at Texas in the second inning, 2-0. Miami, Washington scoreless. Same story for the Mets at Philadelphia. Dodgers and Giants. Giants on top, 2-0. Runner from first goes. Pitch hit in the air, right center field in the gap. Long run, Hernandez. He'll get there to make the play. And with that runner Pennington on the move, he was around second base and had to come all the way back. 2 down here in the inning. Nice play by Teoscar Hernandez.
Good job of tracking that fly ball down in right center field.
And now Mike Trout. Picked up his 30th stolen base in the first inning. 2 more categories you know he would love to reach. 1 more home run, 1 more ribby. Rogers up and in with the fastball. Just 88 miles an hour on that Rogers heater. Big swing and a foul back. Mike Trout, one of those guys who can go to any part of the yard for home run power. Looked like he might have gotten a pitch to handle right there. Ball and a strike on Trout. Only defensive player on the right side of the infield is A.J. Reed, and he's holding at the bag, so Trout can take a shot that way. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike. Rogers in front, 1-2. Mike Trout has hit 14 of his 29 home runs right here in Anaheim, the Big A. He's also hit .328 here this season, so he's been very effective with the bat. Good swing as he fouls it down the right side, and that'll find its way back to the seats. Trout 0 for 3 in each of the first 2 games in the series. In fact, had only reached 1 time drawing a walk in the Friday night game. Game that saw the Angels win 7-1. The Astros came back behind Colin McHugh and won 3-0 yesterday. And now 3-2 on Trout. In that stolen base category, Trout winds up with 30 bags, caught 7 times. And again, taking a shot toward right field. Fouls off the slider.
Looks like he's definitely trying to be patient, trying to go up the middle the other way to try and drive that ball out of the ballpark. And we talked about he has power to all fields. Normally when guys try and hit that home run, they try and clip it out in front, yank it to left field.
Yeah, I don't think with his power that he worries about that at all. And you and I have seen home runs to right field routinely by Mike Trout. Batting with 2 outs here in the second inning. 4-0 Angels lead it, and now Rogers and Stassi can't get together with the signs. Nobody at second base. This cannot be that difficult.
I wonder if Stassi has an idea of how he wants to attack Mike Trout in this 3-2 count. He's just trying to convince Brady Rogers, no, stay with me.
Well, if you're astutely watching, you realize that Trout has taken the swings you just described back up the middle into right field. Maybe working him hard in would be the way to come at him. And again, Trout pops it foul. Coming over Reed. And really didn't size that one up very well, but it drops foul.
Yeah, as a corner fielder in these ballparks, you got to make a mad dash to get to that railing. If you have any idea that ball is going to be in the stands, you get to that railing as soon as you possibly can. Feel it out. Make sure you create some leverage to possibly reach in and grab it. Or you can just do the Derek Jeter and launch yourself into the stands and hopefully catch it.
Somebody's going to catch you with their popcorn, right? Look at that load of pitches.
Good pitches to hit.
Now 3-2. That'll put Pennington on the move. Much better swings this afternoon for Trout than we saw the last couple of days. Pennington goes. The breaking ball is popped up into right field. Teoscar Hernandez coming in. He puts it away. That'll do it for the Angels in the second inning. 4-0. LA on top.
For the Astros fan in your life and have a special message. Become part of the Minute Maid Park forever with the Astros Brick Paver program. Visit astros.com/bricks for more details. We have been looking back at some games, or we're going to this game, and this is another huge game for the Houston Astros this season. May 29th, Carlos Correa was supposed to have a day off. However, they went to 13 innings. He came in to pinch hit, and that happened. He took a Mike Morin changeup a long way right here at Angel Stadium. They get the win there. Carlos Correa was on fire at that time. He'd just been moved in that cleanup spot, too. Springer moving up to lead off. This is when the team started playing really well. But how about Correa coming up with his first pinch hit appearance, coming up big for the club?
No doubt one of the big ones, and right in that area where the team started winning and gaining the momentum. Julia, I don't know if it's fair to ask you, and you can answer anyway. I don't know if you have any insights, if you're hearing from guys. What seems to be the popular answer to what are you going to do when the season's over?
There's a lot of them that are staying in Houston, which is a lot different than years past. There's a lot of guys that are going to work out at Minute Maid Park. So they'll be working with Jake Biding, the strength and training guy for the team the past few years, and they'll have their routines and they'll get going. They all take time off. They tell you they all take a good few weeks away from everything. They don't hit the gym, and then that's when they get going. The bats, of course, come a little bit later. But there are some guys that are moving to different areas. I did hear from Joe Musgrove saying him and James Hoyt were going to get a place in San Diego on the beach and start their beach workouts, which sounds pretty awesome.
Well, they could join Jeff Blum in that regard.
I know.
Hey, I'm not working out on
there.
the beach. Those days are long gone.
That sounds really tough. When they talk about that particular workout, that's how Musgrove lost, trimmed down really, and became just so physically sound. That was what did it, that beach workout. So whatever it is that they're doing, it doesn't sound easy.
Well, I've got a glimpse of Jeff Blum, and I think he is on the beach workout, just doesn't want to talk about it.
No, I can finally get on the sauce. I'm not being tested anymore.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I'm just kidding. I talked to Joe and Davinsky and those guys about that too, and they said that they actually have, through their workout partners and whoever's running their off-season training, they actually force them onto the beach and actually get after it pretty good out there. There ain't nothing like running in some sand to really get you locked in. Just ask Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And
leave it to you to drop Rocky in this.
I think somehow pain was to follow, right?
I do what I can do. That's all,
So, Julia, let's stay with it a little bit as Jake Marisnick stands in. Colin Moran has struck out to start the inning. Do most of the guys hire trainers these days as they go to the offseason?
I would say yes, most of them. I would have to think so, unless they're working out right there at Minute Maid Park, of course. But yeah, they have their guys maybe that they've been with for years. You hear about that. They've built relationships with, maybe when they started when they were younger, and that's maybe where they go to in the off season. They just find their trainer and work out with them. But they've got their place, and you'll see it on their Instagram accounts. You'll see it on their Twitter accounts as they start to ramp up and get going this offseason.
Plummer, you didn't retire too long ago. I believe about 4 years ago. How many of the guys had hired trainers?
Every single one of them. I mean, if they don't have the luxury of staying in that home city that they're playing for and working out with the team trainer, every guy. And you know as well as I do that the paychecks have changed a little bit these days, so the resources are a little more available for these guys to go out and find sports-specific type training, and these guys get after it in the offseason. No longer is spring training used to get in shape. You come to spring training in shape or you go home.
So is that true for the young guys coming up from the minor leagues, getting that cup of coffee in September?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll pay for the guys and get every bit of workout they can get. Marisnick with a chopper to shortstop. Thrown out for the second out of the inning. Jake, by the way, with 3 hits last night. So obviously it's not vacation time right now. It's time to heal, time to get stronger, and then get at the baseball program.
I would say for the most part, most guys take at least a month off, kind of relax a little bit and enjoy travel if they want to, and then start getting into those workouts. But I know when I was playing, I didn't pick up a baseball or a bat until after the first of the year. Did more or less just got the conditioning and strength out of the way. And then after the first of the year, started grabbing a baseball, playing some catch, getting that arm loose. There's only so many bullets left in that arm, especially later in my career. I really tried to push back the baseball part of it as long as I could.
Teoscar Hernandez, his first plate appearance, came on as a pinch runner in the first inning after George Springer led off with an infield single. Max Stassi and Colin Moran, and some of those younger players that trying to find a way to stay in the big leagues. Teoscar has a base hit. So both Astros hits have come in this top spot. Springer and Hernandez. 2-out single brings up Tony Kemp.
Oscar's been putting together some pretty good ABs.
Chacin has been out there pumping strikes and pitching like you kind of grow accustomed to seeing a final game of the season being pitched. A guy that's just going to pump the strikes, work rather quickly. Breaking ball in for a called strike. Kemp reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, trying to lay down a bunt after that infield single by Springer, but that bunt stayed right there at the plate and jumped on by the catcher Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike. C.J. Cron holds at the bag at first base, and now 2-1. So I figured I would jinx that one with Chacin and the way he was coming at the strike zone.
I know for sure that you don't believe in that.
Not a bit.
Nor should anybody else.
Oh, there are plenty who will level the charges.
That's just a poor excuse, and there's no probability in sabermetrics for jinxing.
It's got to be somewhere. They just haven't found it yet, right?
I'll let you go dig on that. Maybe that's what we could spend our offseason looking for. The jinx probability.
It may not be first on the list.
You got to get that new putter gripped.
Yeah, you're right. That could happen tomorrow. Boys, well, I won't name the store.
If it works out for a free putter grip, you may want to.
Golfsmith always has my business.
That a boy. Get that plug in.
Yeah, the guys know who they are. Runners at first and second with 2 outs for Jose Altuve. Mookie Betts is 0 for 1 on his day. He's not catching Altuve, that's for certain, but it's that hits column right now that means something, I think, to both guys. If you can say you lead the league in hits, that's a big one. Altuve starts the day 1 in front. Is Altuve kind of sidling up with Bob Davidson?
Pretty good interaction right there. We just got word before the game that this will be Bob Davidson's last game of his career, umpiring for 30 years, affectionately known as Balking Bob.
Is that affectionately?
Oh, he's got the reputation. I've never seen him shy away from it. He's been a good conversation for me down at third base over the years that I played. He actually turned around. It was kind of funny before the game. I don't know if you noticed it, but he kind of waved to everybody at the press box level and then proceeded to throw everybody out of the ballpark up here. That was kind of entertaining. He's got a good attitude about it.
You know, I get the impression Altuve may not be up there to try to draw the walk right now.
He may not have a choice the way Chacin is throwing pitches up there.
2-1 the count on Jose. Rare company. 26 years of age and 2 batting titles already. And is he going to be that guy that kind of becomes the Rod Carew? Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, 3-1 now. You know, I would say with the 24 home run season this year for Jose, those other guys don't have anything on him. I mean,
yeah.
he's more of a power guy.
Well, his OPS was over 1,000 for most of the season.
Driven to right field, not enough as Calhoun's back to make the play. Altuve 0 for 2 on his day. That'll do it for the Astros in the third. They trail 4-0.
Come celebrate your birthday the Astros way. Cheer on your favorite team while throwing a birthday party at Minute Maid Park. For more info, visit Astros.com or call 713-259-8996. How did the Astros get here? With games like this. Let's look at the Astros facing the St. Louis Cardinals. They won this game 4-1. George Springer hit one of his 29 bombs, a big one, to help the Astros out. George Springer with another great year. We saw him get that hit, and then his day ended early. But I want to say one thing on Springer and playing in 162 before I give this to you guys, just how important that was to him and how much pride he took in being able to be out there every single day for his team. You know, the injuries. He's not an injury-prone guy. He just had some unlucky injuries, and that was the big question on Springer. Could he stay on the field? And he did that this year. Not to say he'll do it next year. I think A.J. Hinch has different plans as far as giving these guys a little bit more rest when they need it. But they needed him this year, and he was there for him. And I think that's really important to George, guys.
Julia, thanks. I think it means a lot in terms of respect from teammates. If you set that tone, I think other guys tend to come with you a little bit. Ready to play when something may be hurting.
I just think that George hasn't had to change his game. He's still gone out there and played as hard as he possibly can. He's been a little bit luckier in the sense that the injury bug hasn't bitten him. But I think it's just it means a great deal to him knowing that he can play the way he wants to and play 161 or 162 games.
C.J. Cron flies to center field, starting the bottom of the third inning. The fielder Jeffrey Marte will stand in. Marte hitting .251. Fourth Angel rookie in the last 6 years with 10 or more home runs. The others, Cron, Trout, Trumbo. Mark Trumbo, by the way, leading the major leagues in home runs. 47 dingers. Playing now with the Baltimore Orioles. Nelson Cruz second in the American League with 43. Edwin Encarnacion, Brian Dozier, Chris Davis of Oakland, all with 42.
These Chris Davis guys can crush baseballs, can't they?
Doesn't matter how they spell Chris, they're going to hit home runs.
Man.
And you know who the co-leaders for the National League home run leadership happen to be?
Let me look at your computer.
Don't do it.
Arenado? Is he in the mix?
He's one. And
you're going to bring this up, aren't you?
There's a co-leader at 41.
CC.
It's another Chris Carter in this case. 41 home runs for the Brewers.
Menlo Park's a good place to hit.
You were not in New York to start the season. We got rained out, colded out the first day, and went out for a little pizza dinner. Carl Patterson had a place his wife had recommended. And I think, reflecting back, it's been 2 years ago, but that night I said Carter was going to hit 40 home runs, and I missed.
Yeah, you shot him low.
A little bit low.
Should have taken the over on that one.
I think Carl Patterson did.
He's a smart guy.
Bill Brown was there at that time.
You're trying to make me feel bad for going to the Masters?
Not a bit. I wouldn't even consider that. You made the wise move.
Still remember that picture you sent from Milwaukee. Oh man, a train yard covered in snow, and I asked you if you were hanging out in
Siberia.
Moscow. Yeah.
Breaking ball hit in the air to left field. Tony Kemp, glasses gleaming in that sun, and battles to make the play. 2 down on fly balls.
Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. Most all-time Major League home runs by season. 2016 creeping up on that number set during that quote-unquote steroid era. Crept above 1999, but the year 2000 holding on to that title so far. 5,693 home runs hit in that 2000 season.
With 2 outs, bases empty, Andrelton Simmons stands in. Simmons had a base hit and scored run number 2 for the Angels in the second. Don't know what the intent with Brady Rogers might be today, how many innings or pitches thrown that might be on the docket, but I'm sure a number of the guys in the bullpen were informed. Stay loose. Could be a day where we need a bunch of arms. Simmons at 283 with his batting average. Pops up the curveball. Left side, it's the shortstop Marwin with the play. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 third inning. 4-0 Halos.
Later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. And one of the most exciting games for the Astros this season, maybe perhaps the most exciting inning, was June 24th. The Astros in Kansas City. George Springer led the game off with a triple. He later hit a grand slam in the same inning. Guys, you remember this? 9-run first. They beat the Royals by scoring 13 that day, 13 the next day. They took care of the defending world champs that weekend in Kansas City. Pretty impressive performance by George Springer, who ended his day with 5 ribbies. I think 3 hits, but that triple and grand slam in the first inning was some impressive stuff. A lot of fun to watch those guys.
Thanks, Julia. George Springer with 3 grand slams on the day of the 5 Houston slams. Tyler White leads off. Winds up popping out to first base. Out number 1 here in the 4th. Brings up Marwin Gonzalez.
Wasn't that also the same series that Jose Altuve was going for the triple to complete the cycle and just completely face planted on second base? Oh, that was a good time.
Yeah, that was. Some of those moments that just stick in your mind. I want to ask Julia another question. You with us, Julia?
Always.
So, what kind of vacation plans have you been hearing from the guys as we start the off season?
Getting the good stuff. They've just recently started talking about this, I should add, because this isn't something they talk about all season, but here in the last couple of days they've started to ask each other what's in the works. So I've heard a few things. Some guys will do family trips. I've heard a few of those. Some guys will just go home. You know, it's maybe they were living in Houston during the season, looking forward to maybe going back to Chicago, like a Luke Gregerson, or Florida. There's some babies due this off season, so there won't be some traveling for maybe Jose Altuve and his wife, who are expecting this month, and Gregerson as well. So That's what some of those guys are doing.
You mean these guys live normal lives?
Yeah, exactly.
At some point,
right? Yeah, that's it. I think that's what they're looking forward to, is kind of getting back to that normal routine and seeing the family.
Isn't that the truth? You kind of live the dream, and then what you want is to just kind of settle down and be normal. A.J. Reed at the plate has a 1-1 count.
A.J. Hinch had a good point today. You know, the end of the season, we didn't see the team do this last year, but today, knowing that they wouldn't go to the playoffs, knowing that this would be the final game, it's that day where they hug each other, they say goodbye to each other, they say thanks to each other, just because they know so many things could happen during the off season. So it was kind of a bittersweet day in a way, just because you have no idea what 2017 will look like. You have no idea which guys will be back in that clubhouse, and every team is special in its own way. So there was a little bit of that going on this morning.
That's a really good point. In a business like this, where guys are traded all the time, you just never know. A.J. Reed caught looking, a 1-2-3 fourth inning as the Angels maintain their lead.
Nothing Angels. And Astros fans, it's time to play Name That Astro, presented by your local Honda dealer. We give you some clues. You tweet us at RootSportsSW with your best guess. This Astro played 8 seasons with the Astros, one-time All-Star. Secret Agent Man. Those are your clues.
Secret Agent Man.
Are you stumped, Ash? Because I was going to...
Is it Johnny Rivers? No.
I was going to give you another clue, but if you're stumped,
yeah, no,
you don't get any clues.
Bring another clue.
No.
Wow.
That's all you get.
Take that.
Julia's getting tougher. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Bottom 3 in the order for the Angels here in the 4th inning. Ortega, Perez, and Pennington. Ortega, the center fielder, 1-for-1 RBI single. It's one to Moran, and it's caught in the air, so no throw needed. 1 up, 1 down in the 4th.
That ball caught Colin. It's hit pretty well off Ortega's bat.
Carlos Perez stands in. He had a double driving in a pair in that 4-run second. Ball and a strike from Brady Rogers. And that fastball at 90, so he's been in that 88 to 90 range. Good little slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Red Sox, Indians, and Rangers all winning their divisions in the American League. Nationals, Cubs, and Dodgers from the National League. I hope I said American League on the first one. Hit into the gap in left center field. That's going to drop and scoot. So Perez has his second extra base hit of the afternoon. 2 doubles for Perez. He's aboard with 1 out for Cliff Pennington.
Second baseman, number 7, Cliff Pennington.
So the pitch that got raked by Carlos. Fastball trying to get on that outer half, but Perez does a good job of getting the barrel out there quickly to contact and driving through it.
We saw a grouping of pitches on Mike Trout in his previous at bat, and just a number of pitches right through the plate to hit. Pennington at the plate had a base hit in the second. With that hit, Pennington hitting .212. Switch hitter batting left-handed. 32 years of age now. Has bounced around the major league scene a bit. 3-0. Ninth year now in the major leagues. Oakland, Arizona, the Angels, and Toronto. And a 4-pitch walk. So runners at first and second. 1 out, top of the order with Yunel Escobar. Brings out Brent Strom once again.
This might be a little bit of a conversation to try and get the command back for Brady Rogers, settle him down, but there's also, I think it's James Hoyt out there getting loose in that bullpen for the Houston Astros. May give him a couple more seconds to get loose.
We were talking yesterday about the Astros' potential rotation coming up toward next year. Can you get Dallas Keuchel back and healthy and pitching the way he did a year ago? Colin McHugh, obvious. Lance McCullers, maybe along with Keuchel, the key there. Joe Musgrove has shown an ability to pitch successfully. There's Mike Fiers, Michael Police. Where does Chris Davinsky fit in? Does he stay in the bullpen? He wants to start. But we'll see. It becomes interesting once again, and stuff you can consider during the offseason. Everybody has the way they would do it. Escobar gets the head out and drives it way foul. Escobar, Calhoun, and Trout at the top of this Angels order. For Brady Rogers here on the afternoon, not overly sharp, but then again, hasn't pitched a whole lot since joining the team. Plummer, what do you think of that list of the pitchers and what may come of it?
I would like to see maybe an addition via trade. I'm not sure this free agent market is really conducive to the pitcher, but if there's somebody out there that you've been maybe looking at before the trade deadline, maybe you go back and revisit some of those talks over the offseason and maybe take a run at somebody that you've really coveted or really appreciate what they've done over the course of the season.
On the fly ball to center field, moving into third base on the second out, Perez the catcher. The runners now at the corners.
Right fielder, number 56.
Back into the bullpen will be interesting, and back into the rotation will be interesting. I agree with you in the sense if Keuchel gets healthy, you'd like to have him at the top. But Lance McCullers, him healthy, will be a guy that's going to jump into that 1-2 spot in that rotation. Colin McHugh has just turned into a workhorse, racking up innings and battling through some issues that he had throughout the course of the season. But Joe Musgrove, even as well as he's pitched, still have something to prove to earn that spot in that rotation. Has Fiers done enough? Like Michael Feliz is unproven, but if you have a chance to go out there and maybe deal a couple guys to bring in a solid veteran presence that can eat up innings and keep that ERA down, keep your ball club in this hump that you're trying to get every single season, I think you go out and try and do it.
A.J. Hinch has come out to the mound. That does it for Brady Rogers on the afternoon. He leaves down 4-0 here in the 4th inning. We'll be right back. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by HEB. No store does more than my HEB. This is a great shot of Angel Stadium here in Anaheim. Well, the Astros turn to the bullpen as they bring in James Hoyt. On previous games on the year for Hoyt. Both lefties and right-handers struggling against James. He'll work it with 2 outs. Cole Calhoun at the plate, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of fly balls to right field. Calhoun out in front. Four runs, 5 hits for the Angels. The Astros with just 2 hits. A couple of singles out of the leadoff spot today. One by George Springer, who left after that leadoff single. Teoscar Hernandez has the other hit. Stassi keeps it in front. 0-2.
He's on it like a cat.
Played golf with an old youth league teammate of Max Stassi, and well, Max Stassi must have been some kind of young player, youth player, because it was nothing but glowing reports. Hoyt with the 0-2. Just a bit high. Hoyt trying to battle out of this 4th inning, keeping it 4-0 Halos. And now 2-2. If you want to watch a clinic on how to block pitches in the dirt. Keep your eye on Max Stassi.
Good to do with a couple of off-speed pitches that Hoyt has. He has a good slider, but also likes going to that split-fingered fastball. Creates a lot of bite.
For Hoyt, since returning on September 2nd from AAA, he's had an ERA of an even 3. Runner goes, and a safe call down at second base. So the Angels playing aggressively, pick up a stolen base. Pennington picks it up. Runners now at second and third. And a 3-2 count on Calhoun. First base is open now. Mike Trout waiting on deck.
Pretty good catch and throw, but Marwin Gonzalez didn't go to the front of the base. He went right after the shoulder of Pennington.
Seen a couple of pretty good throws today from Stassi. Well, if that glove comes down right there at the corner of the bag, maybe a shot.
Yeah.
Calhoun has driven in 73 on his year. No doubt, like everybody else, he would love to throw some more numbers in that mix. And down on strikes. Hoyt gets him as he comes in to face Calhoun. That'll do it for the Angels in the fourth. They stay off the board, but lead 4-0.
And it's time for our Chevy Stroh poll. Make sure you jump on Twitter, follow us at Root Sports SW to vote in the poll. We'll tell you who wins later in the broadcast. Which young player will be the key to the team's success this year? Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, or Lance McCullers? That's next year, 2017. We're looking ahead.
You don't want to look back, huh?
No.
That
That's
doesn't
not my
do us
style.
any good?
No, that's
Okay.
not my style. We're looking ahead. You can't replay those games, right?
Well, we've already done a little looking back, so I guess we might as well look forward. It's a 4-0 Angels lead. We go to the 5th inning. Max Stassi at the plate. He's the 7-hitter, followed by Moran and Marisnik. That started. They appeal to first. Palms down. Friendly call by Dale Scott down at first. Numbers on Brady Rogers today: 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks. Needed 82 pitches to get through the 3 2/3. Little tapper by Stassi, and he'll beat it out. We thought he might have his first hit in his first at bat today as he grounded out to short. Simmons picked him, but now a little infield tapper, and Max Stassi has that first hit of the season.
Not crushed. Just perfectly placed. Use those wheels. Look at Stassi, you can see he's smelling that hit. Chasing it down and got it.
To me, that's always the answer as to how fast a guy can ultimately run. Give him an infield single possibility and you'll see what his max speed is.
Tangle that carrot out in front of him for a while.
That's all it takes. So Max Stassi gets it started. He's at first with nobody out for Colin Moran. Strikeout victim in the 3rd inning. And Moran fouls one left side. For Max Stassi, that's his 16th major league hit. Had 2 in 2013, 7 the next year, 4 last year, and now he got 6 last year, and now picks up the first of 2016. Ground ball to second. Feed on to Simmons. They'll get the double play 4-6-3. So that erases Stassi's 2 down here in the 5th, and it brings up Jake Marisnick with the bases empty.
Take a look at that starting lineup on opening day. What has transpired throughout the course of the season. Top 3 solid, battling through injuries. Colby Rasmus kind of faded away towards the end of the season. Now on the DL, Carlos Gomez has been released. Luis Valbuena was swinging a hot bat when he ended up going on the DL for that hamstring injury. Preston Tucker with the shoulder injury. But I think it gave us an opportunity to see a really bright star in Alex Bregman come up and solidify 3rd base for the Houston Astros. And Yuli Gurriel, don't forget about him either. He was swinging a strong bat. But those are 2 names to add into that maybe opening day lineup next year.
Breaking ball stays high. 2-1 the count. Do you anticipate Gurriel being a first baseman at the start of next year?
I would, if it were my ball club to have any opinion on it, I would like to see him go over there and work on it, because I was so impressed with what Alex Bregman did at 3rd base. I think that's an athletic, young athletic kid that I would like to see continue to go over there and play some 3rd base. It's much easier than asking Alex Bregman to move somewhere else in the infield or go to the outfield.
Marisnick down on strikes. Dropped for 3 hits yesterday. Jake 0 for 2 on the day. 4-0 Angels.
It's time to name that Astro, presented by your local Honda dealer. These were your clues. I think we got Ash this time. 8 seasons with the Astros. Who is it? Gosh, it's your guy, Joe Sambito, my new friend that we rode the elevator together. Had a great time.
That's all it takes is to ride the elevator and now you're friends, right?
Yeah, and talk about some of those great Astros teams, late 70s, early 80s with you.
When I hung around with the guys, right? Yeah, Joe was, he was fantastic, still is. He's an agent these days as he stays around the game, and he actually sent me a text today Might have been yesterday, talking about his experience with his son meeting Jose Altuve, and the fact that Altuve was so good with his son and others around him, and just made the experience a wonderful time. So really good to hear about Altuve and company, and always the best wishes to Joe Sambito. We go to the 6th inning. Astros trailing 4-0, or rather bottom of the 5th, excuse me. Jumping the gun as Mike Trout stands in. Trout has walked, stolen a base, and flied out. All of that against Brady Rogers, who again goes 3 2/3 today. Shift on for Trout. And after watching the swings from Trout the last time up, where it appeared that he was trying to go back up the middle or to right field, surprised to see this shift. His batting average has slipped a bit after going 0 for 3 in the first 2 games. .314 currently. And that fastball gets a piece.
It's not going to make anybody happy.
No. Yeah, this now after the stolen base in the first inning, number 30 on the year. Not the reason Trout is around. C.J. Cron is 0 for 2. The Astros have not had a double play opportunity today, and with Tyler White playing at second base, kind of a little bit of intrigue out there. Cron swings and fouls it back. Yandel Gustavi is a name that we've kind of talked about since he's been up with the club. Great looking arm. Where, Blummer, for you, would you anticipate seeing him get a shot next spring? Is that as one of the relief corps, or does he get a look as a starter?
I would see if he can do it out of the bullpen. He's got a live enough arm. Do some damage out of those bullpens, holding some games down. Might be a little bit too young to throw out there for starting rotation stuff.
Are the Astros set for that back end of the bullpen right now?
I don't know. I think they have confidence in some of those arms, but still you'd like to see them make some adjustments and get a little bit better, because you really want to see some of those back end of the games nailed down.
And there have been times this year where that looks to be the case. As we just watched the strikeout of Cron, it's 1 out. Jeffrey Marte will stand in. But yeah, I hear you. It's that consistent, you got this guy coming in to lock it down.
Yeah, door slamming is a good thing, especially when you have those leads late in ball games.
Strike called on Marte. He is walked and scored and flied out. James Hoyt, pitcher number 2 on the afternoon. Up and in, and that one gets a piece of Marte, or did it?
I don't know if it did. I'll tell you what, I like the first move from Max Stassi right there.
Coming right out along with Marte to make sure there was no chance for Marte to go after Hoyt. But that's a couple of pitches in that dangerous up and in zone today in the inning.
Got his personal space.
Good slider makes it 1-2. And is James Hoyt a guy that is going to get a good look at maybe being a part of this bullpen come next season? So many questions that you can ask, not only about this club, but any team. 2-2. And Stassi continues to do that. Great job behind the plate. A lot of people picked the Astros to be the club to win their division this year. Obviously, it has not played out that way. Another strikeout as Hoyt has been picking up the K's here.
Follow Astros Baseball live with MLB.com's At Bat app. Stay up to the moment with game day, StatCast, live highlights, and more. Even at the game with Minute Maid Park's new Wi-Fi. Download the app for your phone or tablet now.
Andrelton Simmons at the plate. Shoots one foul on the first base side. Simmons has singled and scored and popped to shortstop. Boyd out in front, 0-1. And Stassi, that's a gem of a play to keep that in front. The Astros have been beset by wild pitches this year. But you get that kind of an effort, you cut that number down enormously.
Those shoulders squared up towards the field.
Now you watch it, as the ball goes to your right, especially breaking ball, right shoulder closes. You try on either side to close with the chalk that goes in that direction. A really nice job. And the wave on the slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And again, that slider bouncing well out in front of the plate, and Stassi pretty close to pure perfection with the work he puts in on those. Let's watch what he does.
Brady Rogers and James Hoyt have experience with Stassi coming up through the ranks. And
watch the right shoulder, how it closes. See how it tries to close toward first base in this case. Left shoulder would do the same with third base. Back to the mound. Hoyt with a nice play. And the 3rd out of the inning. Will do it for the Angels. They get the leadoff runner, but lead it 4-0.
leading 4-0 over the Houston Astros here in the top of the 6th, and it is time to play, and it's brought to you by Toyota. Talked about Alex Bregman, got off to a rough start with that 2 for 38, but eventually turned that season around. Both Ash and I like that chip on this kid's shoulder. He wants to go out there, he wants to play, he wants to contribute, and that's exactly what he did. Finishing up those last 41 games with a 308 average. We saw the power stroke come around. Nice and compact, not much movement in that swing, but able to get the barrel to the ball nicely. But truly, that competitiveness for me is what's most appealing about Alex Bregman.
Athletic at third base, anywhere you put him, we would assume. Yeah, you talk about his still quiet as he is at the plate and yet producing power. Extremely impressive. Top of the order, Teoscar Hernandez is 1 for 1. Came on as a pinch runner in the first inning. George Springer got the start, his 161st on the year, his 162nd game overall. Very impressive. George had a base hit before leaving. And now Teoscar down on strikes to start the 6th inning. A little more peek at Alex Bregman.
Before we break for the off season, got a hold of one out there in Texas, and I'm with you, Ashwood. We heard about him being able to play third base. We knew the bat was going to be able to travel because he put up such great numbers in the minor leagues, winning Player of the Year for the Houston Astros. But at third base, the scouting report was he might be okay. He has done way more for me at third base than I ever imagined. And I think he's a phenomenal third baseman.
Completely agree as Tony Kemp lines one into left center field. First hit of the afternoon for Tony. He's 1 for 2. He's also drawn a walk. 1 out single. Brings up Jose Altuve in that DH role today. And what has Mookie Betts done on his afternoon? 0 for 2. So for the moment, Altuve still leads in the hits column. 1 up on Betts. Time to collect one right about now. Jose takes a strike. 215 hits on the season. It's making 200 seem like a routine figure now.
Yeah, 3 years in a row, 200+ hits. Last guy to do it was Ichiro. He did it for 10 seasons, 200+ hits.
Altuve shows bunt with the third baseman Escobar playing back.
You see Escobar looking at him going, come on, man.
Now he's got Escobar drawn in.
Now he just rake a bullet right by him, maybe for 2 bases, and drive in a run.
225 hits a couple of years back, 200 last year, right on the nose. Trying to add to 215 here this afternoon.
Really an exceptional pace for Jose Altuve.
He led the league in stolen bases the last 2 seasons. That won't happen this year, but he does have 30. But he's trying to make it 3 consecutive years leading the league in hits. Hernandez goes. There's a little chopper, and that goes foul. Not Hernandez, but Tony Kemp, excuse me.
And these numbers that you're seeing on Jose Altuve right now on your screen have never been put up in the history of the game of baseball by one man. 337 average, 215 hits, 42 doubles, 24 home runs, 30 steals, 5 triples. The OPS at 930. It's incredible. Send that one to the MVP voters.
Well, I hope they become aware. Breaking ball taken, strike 3 called. So Altuve caught looking, and that's extremely rare. Second out here in the inning. And it brings up second baseman Tyler White. Almost looked like Bob Davidson didn't want to ring up Altuve, but in the end had to do it. Altuve 0 for 3 on his final day of the season. Tyler White now is 0 for 2. He has struck out and popped out. Jhoulys Chacin all the way for the Angels. Kemp with that lead down at first base. And the breaking ball in for a called strike. Tyler White shaking his head.
Kind of wish there was a little bit more of a veteran guy out on the mound for either team, because it would have been fun to have Bob Davidson behind home plate in his final game of his career with the runner on, just kind of go into a balk. and force Bob Davidson to jump out from behind home plate and call the balk.
Kemp goes, but the pitch is hit on the ground to short. Simmons with the play. And that will do it for the Astros in a scoreless 6th inning. 4-0 Angels.
Leading 4-0 over the Houston Astros here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
2017 Astros season tickets are on sale now. Enjoy some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park, save money, and get great benefits throughout the season. Visit astros.com/tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Nice work. And there she is. That's my oldest daughter, Mia. Doing a great job here, enjoying this last ball game, hanging out with us in the booth. Nice work. Were you nervous?
Yes.
You were. It's not easy just to read those, right? This is an extremely tough job.
Yes.
But a fun job nonetheless.
Well done, Mia. Way to go.
Thank you.
You appear to be in line to get yourself right into this line of work. Is that where you're headed?
I guess so.
If the opportunity arises, right? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a lawyer.
Oh, do you? Where do you want to go to school
Harvard.
in order to get that done? Harvard?
Harvard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the other 3 are back here, and the dab session has taken over. Those are my triplets. They're 11 years old, but Mia wants to go to Harvard and be a lawyer. That's not a bad thing to try and be.
Kevin Chapman comes in. 3rd pitcher of the day for the Astros, and the first pitch is chopped on the left side. And I mean way up the elevator shaft. Winds up being an infield single. As the inning gets started, Rafael Ortega picking up that infield single.
There's a colossal chopper right off the home plate. You see this one sky off the ground. You don't see that too often, but with the sun the way it is today during the day game, Marlon Gonzalez having a tough time picking that one up. Not a good feeling at all.
Brings up the catcher, Carlos Perez. 2 for 2, a couple of doubles, 2 RBIs. He has scored a run. Kevin Chapman misses up.
Mia, who is your favorite Astro? Oh, wait. Who is it?
Altuve,
Why do you like Jose Altuve so much?
because he's like my size.
Yet he's going to go out there and possibly get some MVP votes. Pretty incredible stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any big off-season plans for us?
No, not really.
Just pick up and drop off at school?
Yep.
You've been watching the new television show about the young lady becoming the first pitcher in the major leagues, first female pitcher?
No, we don't.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of that. I saw a couple previews, and we haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, you might enjoy that. And I think it's called Pitch. Is that what it is? Yeah. 3 balls, no strikes. It's another ball. Perez draws the walk, reaches for the 3rd time today. as it brings up the 9-hitter, Cliff Pennington. Angels have 6 hits on the afternoon. That's the 5th walk now issued by Astros pitching. 3 by Brady Rogers. James Hoyt, while striking out 3 in his inning and a third, also issued a walk. Nobody out. Runners lead from first and second as Chapman brings a strike. So Mia Blum, great work, and I think there's work in the future for you.
Yeah, we got to get through that dessert cart first, I think.
Fly ball to right field. Teoscar makes the catch. Maybe there'll be a movie about her at some point. The broadcasting lawyer.
There you go.
Number 0, Escobar.
Pennington flies out. Top of the order now. Yunel Escobar stands in. Escobar is 0 for 2 on the day. Had a sac fly in the second inning driving in a run. 39 RBIs for the Angels third baseman. And now Stassi has one get by and the runners will move up. And this will be called a pass ball. So Stassi, who's done such great work with pitches in the dirt, has one slip on by.
Yeah, he just boxed that one.
Ortega to third, Perez to second base. Infield draws in. Chapman misses way high. 2 balls, no strikes. Angels picked up all 4 of their runs in the second inning. Brady Rogers walked the first man in that frame. Now with the ground ball to third, they'll come home and get the out. 5-2 on that play. Colin Moran gets it started from third on to Stassi. And 2 outs here in the inning. It'll bring up Cole Calhoun.
Good play by Colin. Good choice coming home. Stassi really didn't bother to move much or block home plate. Just dared the runner to try and go between his legs, but had the ball in plenty of time to make the tag.
Runners now at the corners with 2 outs. Calhoun is 0 for 3, a couple of fly balls to right field and a strikeout. And now a pinch runner down at first base, as Escobar's done with his day and season.
That's Caleb Cowart came in for Escobar.
Cowart, who played second base last night. As the first pitch is in on the left-hand hitter. Kevin Chapman, again the third pitcher today for the Astros. He is behind in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. On the brief major league career for Kevin Chapman, as you see Mike Trout getting ready for another chance to come to the plate and pick up some numbers he's been looking for. Chapman has walked 5 men per 9 innings in which he's pitched.
Yeah, the arm's there. He's got a couple of different pitches to back up that fastball. It's just command. You keep falling behind, it's beneficial to the hitter.
And now 3-1. has already walked Perez here in the inning. Calhoun gets back in. And drives one right center field. Jake Marisnick battling that sun. And now able to get back and drops it in the end. A run will score. In fact, 2 runs coming across on what likely will be an E8, but a very tough play for Jake Marisnick. Well, they have ruled it a double. So it's a 2-run double. And now Cole Calhoun is done with his work as the Angels go to the bench once again. And you watch the play.
You see Jake got to a spot where he thought it would be at. And by the time he got there, it ended up being in the sun. Tried to block it out and play through it. It actually tipped off that pinky finger of the glove. But that is a rarity to see a guy like Jake Marisnick out there, and you wonder if having Teoscar Hernandez in the vicinity may have thrown him off a little bit. But Teoscar Hernandez actually had a better angle on that because the sun is not in his eyes going away from that play.
The Astros go to the bullpen once again. Yandel Gustave will come in from the pen. Angels on top, 6-zip.
Alexis defensive rankings final time this season, and the reason we left that left field spot open is because we've got a pretty good size question mark out there. Figure out who can play there, but I know Jake Marisnick is the guy that's going to be given that opportunity again in center field. Obviously George Springer out in right field. You've got 2/3 of that outfield pretty much solidified with very good defensive outfielders. Just a matter of who's going to step up and try and be that left fielder, or it might be somebody out there possibly on that free agent market that the Astros would want to take a look at and maybe take a run at to complete this outfield for the Houston Astros that has been very good this season.
By the way, who has been evaluating George Springer to the tune of 0.3 on his D-WAR? I mean, I just don't get that.
Well, we've talked about it plenty where it's a subjective number, and I think that's a little tough, and our subjective number would put George Springer extremely high on that list because he has done very well. Jake Marisnick is actually a guy who sabermetrically and according to the metrics actually rates very high. His defensive runs saved, he is one of the better outfielders in all of baseball.
I don't disagree with that at all. I do disagree on the George Springer front, but we now watch Yandel Gustave bring that big arm to the hill. Pitcher number 4 today for Houston.
Tell you what, how about Yandel Gustave getting to make an appearance in game 162, but he's got to do it against a guy like Mike Trout.
Mike Trout, a hungry player, trying to pick up a big swing right here. Makes a good slider for a strike.
About that, the young man comes out of the bullpen, heater up and in, backs it up with a slider on the outside corner.
And when we talk heater with Gustave, we're talking about the big time stuff. Trout gets tied up at 97, 1-2 the count.
I think That scouting report with Yandel Gustave might just read, "Get it ready."
And if you get 2 strikes on you, get ready for that wicked combination of the high heat and the good slider. Hit to right field on a line. That's going to drop for a hit, and it's going to bring home a run. And there's RBI number 100 for Mike Trout. And that's one of the numbers he has been shooting for. So Nick Buss, the pinch runner, crosses, makes it 7-0. Mike Trout is now done. He gets to 100 RBIs and will exit the field for the last time this year.
Another number 27 having a phenomenal year this season, matching up well with what Jose Altuve has done. But Mike Trout has gotten his career off to an electric start. Congratulations to him on RBI 100. Anaheim fans showing their appreciation. He is definitely the golden child out here on the West Coast.
Jet Bandy now the pinch runner down at first base for Trout. Well, it's been all halos today. Still 2 outs. C.J. Cron will stand in. In the air to left field, Tony Kemp is back to make the play, and outfielders and infielders alike really battling this sun. Angels now lead at 7-0.
Angels leading the Astros. Get a behind-the-scenes look at places like historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and more with a tour of Minute Maid Park. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today. Some more tweets coming in. Oh, that's my tweet. I never know what they're going to surprise me with here. But you did ask me for some highlights last night, Ash.
Yeah, there you go.
And I went through my camera log, or my camera photo log, and found these gems.
You're going to have to explain that one, Julia.
That was the
Cleveland
Midge game, or yeah, all the bugs that we had to deal with in Cleveland.
I like how somebody compared that to E.T.'s adventure.
I know, that was great. Remember Marwin Gonzalez sprayed that towel down with bug spray and threw it at me just because that's what they were doing in the dugout, and it helped apparently. So I just wrapped my face in it.
What does it take to get that bike airborne?
What was that?
What does it take to get that bike airborne?
Took a left
E.T.
Oh.
Changes for the Angels. We get to those. It's 7-0. Angels on top of the Astros. Marwin Gonzalez leads off here in the 7th inning. He's the 5-hitter. Defensively for the Angels, Nick Buss, who came on as a pinch runner, is now in right field in place of Calhoun. Gregorio Petit is the second baseman. Pennington moves from second to short. And Colin Coward, or Caleb Coward rather, is now the third baseman in place of Escobar. A lot of work offensively to get done. Down 7-0. Chacin still on the mound. Pennington, the shortstop in the shift, makes the play. 1 up, 1 down in the 7th.
Got another tweet going on, and Julia Morales was told the espresso machine is broken at the hotel. How do you deal with it?
That was me this morning in the hotel lobby.
Man.
Straight to the field position.
Yeah. Show sideline reporter issues.
That bus was at 8:30 a.m. It's early. You guys weren't on it.
You're on Houston time. You should be all right.
No, I've already adjusted to West Coast time. That's not one of the highlights of 2016. You know, looking back at that first picture, I was all bundled up in New York. How cold was it to start the year for the Astros?
You're going to have to tell us it was plenty warm in the booth.
Oh my goodness.
No, it wasn't.
Every city I think we went to for the first 2-3 weeks, it felt like it was freezing. Especially that first one where they got rain delayed, but it was more of a snow, really cold weather delay, right?
Again with the shift on, it's A.J. Reed grounding out to Pennington. 2 up, 2 down in the inning.
It was 20 degrees that day. Do you remember that?
Was that this year? That feels like last year to
right.
me.
And you were talking about Milwaukee, so we went from this, the frozen tundra, to a snowstorm where I peeked out of my window in Milwaukee and it was covered in snow, blizzard.
It was. I mean, literally.
It really was. I'm not exaggerating.
I've got a photo from there that is just, it's so telling of what the weather was like.
I wanted to go see the Fonzie statue, but it was covered in snow. And
even Fonzie couldn't say "hey" in that weather.
Freezing. But you know, we talk so much about how cold it was, and yes, these are cold weather cities, but these players and we had been in Florida for 6 weeks.
Where it was warm the whole time.
Right.
That's
I mean,
right.
Very, very warm, and to make that quick change. Oof.
By the way, how'd you handle things this morning after you found out you couldn't get your favorite espresso, and then was it down to In-N-Out Burger for you?
No.
Call a cab?
I did that yesterday. We already did In-N-Out. No, I rallied. I got on the bus. I sucked it up, got on the bus, and showed up.
Max Stassi down on strikes, a quick 1-2-3 inning. As Chacin breezes through, we played 6.5. Angels on top, 7-zip. Oh, woe is Julia.
Powered by Kubota is going to give us a look at a start by Lance McCullers. July 22nd against these Halos. He went 8 innings, struck out 10, and you're seeing that breaking ball was filthy that night. That's where the strikeouts were coming from. That's when he was throwing that breaking ball so hard at that point. He threw it a lot harder than we had seen in the past. And Lance McCullers, always saw flashes of greatness for him, but the season delayed with injury as he wasn't able to start with the team. Just a little bit later start for him, and then ended a little bit too early for Lance McCullers as well, as he ends the year with another injury, but working his way back, and he'll get healthy soon here as he's spent the last week or so in Florida getting ready, but they're going to need that arm next year as they move forward and try to make their way back into the playoffs, guys.
Thanks, Julia. 7-0. The Angels lead it. To the bottom of the 7th we go in game 162. We've seen the Angels with a number of changes. For the Astros playing it pretty well straight up now, as Yandel Gustave will work into a second frame. He'll face Marte, Simmons, and Ortega, those spots. Got the Angels with some new faces. We'll get those in the lineup as they come toward the plate. Angels picked up 4 runs back in the 2nd inning. That's where it kind of came apart. Freddie Rogers started, worked just 3 2/3 innings. Jeffrey Marte now leads it off. Ji-Man Choi waits on deck.
Tell you what, I can't wait, and I'm sure Lance McCullers can't either. He's a hyper-competitive type guy, but really, for me, he looked like he was starting to figure it out a little bit as far as getting deeper in ball games, which the Astros want to see more of because he's got such a good arm. But this is a big offseason for him because I think he came into this season with the expectations, lived up to them, and then got hurt. If he can return next year with those same expectations and that kind of stuff that he brings to the table, be a nice season for Lance McCullers, leading the way, hopefully, for this rotation, maybe.
That's a nice cue. Happy 23rd birthday for Lance McCullers.
Just a kid.
Kid with a big-time arm. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marte 0 for 2, has walked and scored a run. And drives one to left center field. This is in the gap and deep. Back at the wall. This gets out of here. Second home run of the series for Marte. His 15th of the year, and that lead for the Angels now at 8-0. Well, if the Astros are to make it 2 out of 3 here in this series, they're going to need to put the offense together. Ji-Man Choi stands in, first plate appearance of the day. Hitting 171. He's got some pop, 5 home runs. Fouls one on the left side. Rafael Ortega waits on deck. So Marte strikes right away to start the 7th. Mike Trout has picked up his 100th RBI of the year. He has also picked up his 30th stolen base. The one category he did not get to, the home runs, he stands at 29. George Springer able to get a hit in his only at bat of the day and then removed from the ball game. 162 games played in by George Springer. Jose Altuve has had an 0 for 3 day with a strikeout as he tries to win not only the batting title, which he has locked up, but that hit crown in the American League. Choi out in front and down on strikes. First out of the 7th.
The 2017 status of that rotation that we have for the Houston Astros. Dallas Keuchel is arbitration eligible, should get a relatively decent raise. Doug Fisher is going to become a free agent at the end of the season. Colin McHugh, ARB eligible. Will Harris, arbitration eligible. Neshek has a team option the end of this season, and Mike Friars is going to also be arbitration eligible. So there's some decisions to be made by the Houston Astros front office. And that arbitration scenario is interesting. It's usually 1-year deals. Everybody gets the chance to negotiate their side. and bargain for a particular number they want to agree to.
Gustave falls behind 2 balls and no strikes on Rafael Ortega. Ortega 2 for 3 on the day, couple of singles, has picked up an RBI and scored a run. 9 Angels hits on the day, just 4 for the Astros. Mookie Betts 0 for 2 for the Boston Red Sox, so he has not picked up a hit today. Altuve still leading the league in hits. Three and 1 on Ortega. One out, Carlos Perez waiting on deck. And the 1-out walk.
Number 58, Carlos Correa.
6 walks for Astros pitching today. It hasn't gone down smoothly for the Astros pitching this afternoon. Perez is 2 for 2, a couple of doubles and a walk, and now pops one. It's White, the second baseman, calling, and he'll make the play. 2 down. It brings up the 9 spot with Cliff Pennington.
Shortstop, number 7, Pennington.
Pennington has singled, walked, and flied out. He's also stolen a bag. Gustave finds the outside corner. For the Astros in the 8th inning, it'll be Moran Marisnik and Teoscar Hernandez. Backdoor breaking ball. 1-2 the count. Pennington yet to swing it. And Pennington down on strikes. A couple of strikeouts in the inning. But the Angels pick up a run on the home run by Marte.
Jeffrey Martin.
Presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
Greater coverage of baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile as we're back at the ball. Now we will turn to that in just a moment. 8-0 Angels lead. We go to the 8th inning. Colin Moran leads it off, followed by Jake Marisnick, and then the top of the order with Teoscar Hernandez. Second pitcher of the day for the Angels, J.C. Ramirez, takes over on the hill. For Colin Moran, 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded into a double play. Moran very much a left field hitter, at least in the air, but the Angels have 3 infielders on the right side. By the way, we've mentioned Mookie Betts, now 0 for 3 on his day in Boston. That's a no-hit effort right now going in by Aaron Sanchez of the Toronto Blue Jays. 6 2/3 innings, no-hit baseball.
Blue Jays need that win too. Tied with Baltimore atop that American League wild card.
Blue Jays got 1 run on 4 hits against David Price. Red Sox have now gone to the bullpen a few times. Colin Moran with a 2-2 count. And there's J.C. Ramirez.
Good live arm. Seen some pitches around 97, 98 miles an hour from a right-hander.
Three and 2. Colin Moran leading off the 8th inning.
Get it right here. Get it ready right here, Colin.
Hit down the left field side on a line. That'll drop for a hit and go to the wall. Kick away from the left fielder Marte. And into second is Colin Moran. So Colin picks up a double as he leads off the 8th inning. 1 for 3 on his day. Greater coverage of baseball is now brought to you by T-Mobile. As we see some of the postseason predictions, I said Boston over Texas in the ALCS, the World Series. Boston over the Cubs. Blummer, you go ahead and bring yours.
I think it looks exactly like yours.
Ah.
Yeah, I got the same feeling about it. I think that Texas is going to make it into the ALCS against Boston, but Boston's just going to have too much for them as far as firepower, and I think outblast them in that series to get into the World Series. And then, of course, the matchup that I'm sure all of Major League Baseball, other than having the Astros in there, is to have the Cubs-Boston Red Sox matchup. 2 of the oldest ballparks in the league, 2 of the oldest franchises. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of history between them, and not to mention all the storylines that having the Cubs in a World Series brings with it.
Jake Marisnick is retired, first out of the inning. In the National League scoreboard right now, Washington leading over Miami, Phillies, Giants. That's a big one right there as they lead the Dodgers 5-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning.
If they end up winning that game, that means that this team is going to go bye-bye.
So if the Giants win this, does this change predictions at all? It's an even year. Giants win the World Series 3 consecutive even years.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about even making predictions is that so much can happen, and all these teams are looking for is a ticket to the dance. And once you get into the dance, all that matters is how you play throughout the course of that. We know that Giants have that history you're talking about as far as even years. But if one team slumps, another team overachieves, then it could be a completely different story, and that's part of the fun of going to the playoffs.
Giants shooting for their 87th win of the year. Well, that does get interesting if the Giants win and get into the dance.
By the way, Hanley Ramirez hit a home run in that Red Sox-Toronto Blue Jays game to tie it up 1 apiece.
Ooh, that really makes it tough on the Blue Jays now. Fly ball to center field. The catch is made. Tagging and coming to the plate, Moran, and with the throw off line, he will score that first Houston run of the day. It's now 8-1 on a sac fly. Teoscar Hernandez picks up the RBI.
Left fielder, number 16, Tony Kemp.
So the Astros get on the board. 2 down. Tony Kemp comes to the plate. Kemp has grounded into a fielder's choice, walked and singled. With that hit, the batting average up to .218 for Tony. And yes, Jose Altuve does wait on deck. Toronto Blue Jays started the day tied with the Orioles. Fly ball to left, shallow. Marte makes the catch. That'll do it as Kemp is retired. The Astros get on the board. After 7.5, it's 8-1 Angels lead. By Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. Plummer, I see your site coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit further south of Newport there. Head down to Trestles, San Onofre.
You're just going to bring up all the spots that the Beach Boys used to sing about, right?
Yeah. Hey, there is some truth to some of those songs, man. Great breaks down here on the left coast. Speaking of lefties,
it's not the left coast for me; it's the right coast. But no, that's just me.
Hey, sometimes you got to go left to get right.
That's right. Tony Sipp on to work it now for the Astros in the bottom of the 8th inning. Caleb Coward leads it off, hitting 179. First pitch hit on the ground, back up the middle. Tyler White is positioned there, and out number 1. And again, we check in with Julia.
Thanks a lot, Ash. We have a winner in our Chevy Stroh poll. We asked you earlier about who you thought would make the biggest impact in 2017. And here were your options: Correa, Bregman, or McCullers. And Bregman coming through, just edging out Lance McCullers, 35% to 34%. That is about 4 votes that Bregman wins by.
Well, I could make a good argument for each one of those guys. What about you, Julia? How'd you feel?
about that particular vote.
Are you willing to commit, or are you just going to play coy?
You know, I like Bregman being the winner there. We've seen McCullers and we've seen Carlos Correa and what they can do and the kind of impact. I don't think they're here without those two guys. But looking ahead to 2017 and where's Alex Bregman going to play next year? Where is he going to be in the lineup next year? It'll be really interesting to see him in that first full year as a big leaguer.
So let me present an argument for a couple of those guys. As Nick Buss taps one foul, has a 1-2 count. What about the case of Lance McCullers? What if he were healthy and went out and made 33 starts next year and pitched the way we think he can pitch? Could he potentially find himself in the conversation for the Cy Young Award in the American League?
You asking me?
Anybody.
Okay. I actually voted on that poll, and I voted for Lance McCullers. I'm not going to go out there and say that he doesn't have the stuff to compete for a Cy Young, or eventually he might. I'm asking him to have an impact on that rotation and solidify that rotation for me. I think that not having Dallas Keuchel perform and then get hurt is a little disappointing. I like what Colin McHugh brings to the table, but the most electric arm in that rotation for me that could really put them over the top and maybe, jettison them into that pennant chasing type atmosphere towards the end of the season is Lance McCullers. I know it's a lot to ask of a 23-year-old, but I think that he has the stuff, and I truly believe he has the mentality and the desire to be that guy too. That's what I like most.
And sorry.
Go ahead, Julia, you got it.
Well, the time we did get to see Lance McCullers, there were some situations where maybe he was left out to try to get out of some trouble, maybe in late innings. We saw the development of Lance McCullers as far as what A.J. Hinch wants him to be in the future, and we talked about maybe he being an ace one day, and the skipper grooming him that way. And I think we saw him do a lot of learning and a lot of maturing in that short time that we did get to see him on the mound.
I agree with both of you completely, and my answer to my question is yes. I could see him being right into the conversation about Cy Young Award winner. His stuff is that good. His competitive nature is that good. And so yes is my answer. But I also could ask that question about Carlos Correa. Could I see him next year performing the way I think he's capable in a step forward of being in the conversation about MVP in the league? And my answer is yes. So I think you've got a couple of guys who could be in huge conversations a year from now. That'll do it. A 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th inning. Astros bring the bats to the plate, trailing 8-1.
The Astros, and as we start to wrap this one up here, looking back, we said goodbye to Bill Brown, who was retiring with the Astros, but he had some great points saying thanks to everyone for allowing us into your homes, and I want to reiterate that. We've had a lot of fun on these broadcasts. You guys, Ash and Blummer, make it great to work with as well, but the fans, the viewers who have engaged with us all season long, it's made this great. And of course, this is a great club to cover. They're a young club, and they have the sky is the limit for these guys. And just like we promised earlier in the show, here's our Miller time as we look back at And how much fun this was for this group last year, and all the learning and all the maturing that they did as a team, getting to the playoffs in 2015 for the first time in a decade, carrying that into this season. And man, was 2016 such a battle for this group, working through so much adversity, lots of injuries at the end, but still finding a way to be in the race, be in the conversation of playoffs. And it came down to the last couple of days of the year, which is what these guys wanted at the beginning of September. They just wanted a shot, and this isn't where they wanted their season to end up, but so much hope for the next time around, for spring training, which is right around the corner, guys.
Altuve, by the way, loops one down the right field side, and he's got a knock. Number 216 on the year. And a 2-hit lead now as we look at things around the American League. So that's a very nice one for Jose Altuve as he gets applauded by the Astros bench right now. Just great stuff. So leadoff single. It brings up Tyler White. I want to say, on the heels of Julia talking about things, just an enormous thanks to everybody surrounding me. It's such a great crew. Bill Brown, of course, and we've had our big day with Brownie. Jeff Blum, great job that I get to take advantage of so much on so many games on the road primarily. Julia Morales, great crew. All the guys that work in the studio and also help us at the ballpark on occasions as White swings through one. And the guys in the truck, Carl, Paul, Gooch, Jerry, Thomas, Perry, on and on. There are too many names I shouldn't even start mentioning because I'll miss some, but a thanks to all of you guys and gals, as it turns out, and just a genuine pleasure for me to have had the chance to work with you.
Yeah, it's been a blast. It's been another good season. It's been 4 solid seasons. We've seen the rise of this ball club, and the way they finished off, even though they are not in the playoffs, for me has been a beautiful thing to watch, because I like watching the maturation process of young athletes going out there, and I think Correa and Altuve understanding the pains they went through to try and extend this season for the Houston Astros is saying something. And I also think it's setting a tone for future ball clubs here in Houston. It has been a blast to watch these guys play. It's been a blast to work with you, Ash, on the road, and been a true pleasure to be around Brownie, both as a player and as a future broadcaster. He has been beneficial for me, learning how to deal with what goes on a daily basis. Everybody in the truck has made my job that much easier. Julia has been a blast and had plenty of information and entertaining thoughts throughout the course of the season. But there is a lot to look forward to as far as the Houston Astros organization. We saw the champagne celebration. I think they are lining up nicely to be able to do that a couple more times in their near future.
Thank you, Blummer.
But I also love all the fans too, because the Twitter interaction for me has been absolutely incredible. There are people out there watching who care and have opinions, and we embrace all that stuff. Thank you.
A lot of nice folks, and we do appreciate you very, very much. It is a long season. The tape is finally right in front of us as we make our last few strides in this marathon. Astros trying to come back down 8-1. Altuve picking up the leadoff hit. Tyler White stays alive. Yeah, we think it's as great a group as there is anywhere around Major League Baseball, and we appreciate everybody. Just wanted to throw one more out there. A.J. Hinch and his willingness and desire to be so open with us and keep us in the loop so much, and it's a great help. Fly ball down the right field side, and a nice play, an effort to double up. Altuve comes up short, but Nick Buss with a nice play for the first out here in the 9th.
Shortstop, number 9, Gonzalez.
Kind of a hollow feeling as you wind down and get right down to the final couple of outs.
It's been a great season. I know that everybody has aspirations of going to the playoffs, and these guys played hard, but it's been a fun season and a fun ball club to cover.
Marwin Gonzalez has a base hit. Altuve stops at second. 2 hits here in the inning, and now A.J. Reed will stand in. Infield puts on pretty close to a full shift on A.J. Reed. Reed takes a strike. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Max Stassi waits on deck. Carlos Correa doesn't play on this the final day of the season, but what an impact player. Then you go right down the whole bench. Guys that have contributed, some greater than others, but Colin McHugh, what would you do without him and the great outings he's put out? Half swing, they call it a strike. 1-2 now on Reed. He's having a hard time pulling the trigger. Count stays at a ball and 2 strikes on Reed. Coaching staff that works so hard for this club. And everybody on the minor league level as well. Reed takes a strike and is caught looking. Astros are down to an out. A.J. Reed closes his season going 0 for 4. Max Stassi will stand in. 1 for 3, his lone hit of the season with the Astros. That came in the 5th inning. In the air to center field. This is going to do it. Ortega makes the catch, and that does it not only for this ball game as the Angels win 8-1, but for the 2016 season. The Astros with the loss go 84-78. They will finish in 3rd place in the American League West.
It's been great, Ash.
Yeah, it's
appreciate everything,
well.
man.
Yeah, thanks so much. And
great season.
Yeah, we've talked about everything we can today, I think, and it's right down to this doing it, and that's about all we've got to say. The Astros take the loss today as the Angels win that final game of the season 8-1, and we thank you all.